75% of resumes never reach a human. You've applied to what? 40, 60, maybe 100 jobs? You've rewritten your resume so many times, the words have literally stopped looking real. You've read every single article. You've added the keywords. You've made it 1 page, then 2 pages, then back to 1, and you're still getting nothing back. Or worse, you're getting the auto rejection before you've even had a chance to have your morning coffee. And then you find out somehow, some way, someone else in your network just landed a job at a company you literally had just bookmarked. And you're sitting there going, how? Here's the thing. The advice you've been getting, use action verbs. Tailor your resume. Keep it to 1 page. You've heard it. You've done it. So why isn't it working? Because those aren't the actual reasons your resume is getting rejected. In this video, you're getting 5 things that are truly costing you. Things most people have never been told. Things that don't show up in the generic career advice. And honestly, some of them are going to make you go, wait, I've been doing that? Quick intro. I'm Mary Southern, founder of Resume Assassin. Over the last decade, I've helped more than 4,000 people land jobs at places like Microsoft, Google, Tesla, and Netflix. I've seen thousands of resumes, and the ones that sail through, the ones that quietly die, and the ones that had me genuinely stressed on someone else's behalf. So when I say I know exactly where yours is falling apart, I mean it. Stick around for all 5, because the third one especially, that one is going to rearrange how you think about your resume entirely. Let's get into it. Okay. Here's something that most people don't know, and it's going to change how you think about your resume entirely. Before any human being lays eyes on your resume, it's being read by software. You might have heard the acronym ATS, used by the vast majority of mid-sized and large companies to filter, sort, and rank applications before a recruiter ever opens a single one. And here's the number that stops people cold. Estimates suggest that up to 75% of resumes are filtered out before a human sees them. So 3 out of every 4 people applying to a given job screened out. Now here's where it gets really frustrating. Your resume might look incredible. Great layout, clean design, maybe a little color, maybe a 2-column format that you found on a template site. But the software doesn't see any of that. What the software sees is a document it's trying to parse. And if your formatting is fighting it, the software loses the battle and takes your resume down with it. Columns, the software might read your second column as a completely separate section or skip it entirely. Text boxes, often invisible to the scanner. Any critical information sitting inside your header or footer, in many systems, that gets skipped. So your name, your phone number, your email, if those are tucked into the document header, they might simply not exist as far as the software is concerned. And that 2-column template everyone loves, the software might be reading your name in the middle of your job description. It is complete chaos on the back end, even if it looks polished on the front end. Here's how to fix it. First, go back to the job posting and read it like you're studying for an exam. Pull out the exact language they use. Not your version of it, not a synonym, the actual words. If they say stakeholder management, your resume should say stakeholder management. This software is very literal. It does not give credit for creative interpretation. Second, simplify your formatting. 1 column, standard section headings, so work experience, education, skills. No text boxes, no graphics, no tables used as layout tools. I know it feels like you're turning in something plain, but a plain resume that a recruiter actually reads will always beat a beautiful resume that gets filtered out before it reaches them. Third, move your contact information into the body of the document, not the header, not the footer, right there at the top in the document body itself. You do not want a recruiter trying to call you back with no phone number because it lived somewhere the system couldn't reach. Step 1 is getting past the screening. Step 2 is impressing the human. You cannot skip step 1, no matter how good your experience is. Okay, so let's say your resume made it through. Congratulations. A real human being now has it right in front of them. And they've got about 7 seconds for that initial scan. 7 seconds, okay? And what do they see? Responsible for managing social media accounts, assisted with marketing campaigns, helped coordinate team events, supported various internal projects as needed. And the recruiter goes, next, not because you're unqualified, but because that answer tells them nothing about you specifically. Every single person who held a role like yours could have written those exact same bullets. You've described the job. You haven't described what you did with it. Think about it this way. Imagine two people both played on the same sports team, right? One says, played forward, participated in all 30 games this season. The other says, led the team in scoring with 28 goals, up from 14 the previous season, and helped bring the team from 8th place to 2nd. Same team, same position, completely different story. The second player gets noticed, absolutely. Not because they played more, but because they showed what they actually did with the opportunity. That's exactly what's happening on your resume. You are describing participation. What a recruiter needs to see is performance. Here's how to fix it. There is a formula, and once you have it, you will absolutely use it forever. Every single bullet point should follow this structure. Strong action verb, plus what you did, plus the result. And always use a number when it's possible. Here's what that looks like in practice. Before might look something like responsible for managing client relationships. After, managed a portfolio of 35 enterprise client accounts, maintaining a 96% retention rate and contributing $1.8 million in annual recurring revenue. Same job, completely different impression. The first version is background noise. The second version makes someone stop scrolling and actually read. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. My job doesn't have clean numbers. I wasn't in sales. I wasn't tracking metrics. Listen, I hear you, but here's the truth. Almost every role has numbers hiding somewhere. How many people were on your team? How many projects were you managing at once? How long did something used to take, and how long does it take now because of something you did? What percentage of the department did you train? What was the budget that you were responsible for? Start digging. The numbers are in there, I promise. And if after all of that, something genuinely cannot be quantified, at minimum, describe the scope and the outcome. Paint the full picture of what your involvement actually meant. Okay, this is the one that I mentioned at the top, and I'm calling it the real estate problem because your resume has really valuable real estate, and most people are allocating it completely wrong. Here's something almost nobody talks about. When a recruiter picks up your resume, their eyes go immediately to the top third of page 1. That's it. That's the first pass. That section is your storefront. It's where the decision to keep reading or not gets made. So what happens when your top third is filled with a generic summary that says nothing, followed by a job from 6 years ago that isn't even your most relevant experience? Well, you've wasted the most valuable real estate on your page. And I see this constantly. It drives me nuts. Someone has incredible experience, but they put it in chronological order, starting with the most recent, which happens to be a role that's only tangentially related to what they're applying for now. Meanwhile, the work that would actually get them hired is sitting all the way at the bottom of page 2. A recruiter doing a 7-second scan is never going to get there. Here's how to fix this. First, the page question. Since everyone always asks, 1 page per decade of truly relevant experience. If you have less than 10 years, 1 to 2 pages. 10 to 20 years, 2 pages is fine, potentially necessary, but even on a 2-pager, page 1 has to be so strong that someone immediately wants to see what's on page 2. Second, audit what's sitting in that top third right now. Your summary should be specific and targeted, not a paragraph about how professional you are. The first few bullets under your most recent role should be your most powerful ones, not the routine ones, not the ones that were technically your responsibility but weren't your biggest wins. Your best work, right there front and center. Third, just cut the filler mercilessly. Works well independently and as part of a team. Is definitely not a differentiator. Proficient in Microsoft Office stopped being a selling point about proficient in Microsoft Office. That stopped being a selling point in like 2009. Every line on your resume should be earning its place. If it isn't adding something specific and compelling, it's taking up space that your best material deserves. Your resume doesn't just need to be good. It needs to be good in the first 10 seconds of a scan. That's the game. Speaking of the top of your resume, let's talk about the summary section, because this is where I see incredibly qualified people just completely hand back their advantage. Read this and tell me if it sounds even just a little bit familiar. Results-driven professional with over 10 years of experience in a fast-paced environment, strong communication and leadership skills with a proven ability to collaborate cross-functionally and deliver impactful business outcomes. There it is. The universal resume summary, right? I've seen some version of that paragraph, I'm not even exaggerating, tens of thousands of times. And it does nothing. It's the professional equivalent of saying, I'm a person who does work. Technically accurate, completely forgettable. Here's what makes this painful. Your summary is the one place on your entire resume where you get to speak directly to the person reading it. It's above everything else. It's the first thing a recruiter sees after your name. And most people use it to say absolutely nothing that makes them stand out from the 200 other people who applied. Results driven is on so many resumes that it has genuinely lost all meaning. Same with detail oriented, team player, self-starter, and passionate. Sorry, guys. These words have been worn down to nothing. They signal nothing. They help no one make a decision about you. Here's how to fix it. Stop thinking of your summary as a paragraph about yourself. Think of it as a headline for the role you're targeting. A good headline tells you exactly who this is about, what they've done, and why you should keep reading. 3 things belong in your summary. 1, your actual title or area of expertise. Be specific, not vague. 2, your most impressive quantified result. The thing that if someone heard it at a dinner party, they'd go, wait, really? 3, what specifically you bring to this type of role. Here's the difference. Here's the generic version. Experienced marketing professional with leadership experience and a passion for brand growth. Here's the targeted version. Brand marketing manager with 8 years leading consumer tech campaigns. Most recently drove a product launch that hit $4.2 million in revenue in the first 60 days and built the content engine that grew organic traffic by 210% in 1 year. The second version makes a recruiter look up from the page. That's the goal. Not, I'm a professional. Show me what you've actually done. And one more thing, your summary should shift depending on what you're applying for. If you're going after marketing roles at startups, it should read differently than if you're targeting corporate brand strategy. You're writing a pitch for a specific type of opportunity, not a bio for the rest of your career. Last one, okay? And this might sting a little, but it comes from a place of genuine wanting you to get the job energy. Some of you are sending out 80, 100, 150 applications. Same resume, every job, just hitting apply on anything that just kind of fits. And I understand it. When you're stressed and in job search mode, volume feels like progress. Sending applications feels like doing something. But here's what's actually happening on the back end. Applicant tracking software scores your resume against each job description before a human sees it. It's looking for keyword alignment, relevant experience signals, and match percentage. And if your resume was written for everyone and no one in particular, your score for every individual job is going to be mediocre at best. You're consistently landing below the threshold. You're not even making it into the real consideration pool. Volume without targeting is just noise, right? You're showing up in a lot of places, but you're not actually landing anywhere. And here's the other side of it. When a recruiter does look at a resume that was clearly not tailored for this specific role, when the language doesn't match, when the experience listed is only loosely related, they can feel it. It communicates that you didn't do the work to understand what they actually need. Here's how to fix it. And this is kind of a reframe. Stop thinking of tailoring as rewriting your entire resume for every single job. That's exhausting, and it's not what anyone is asking you to do. Instead, think in clusters. What are the 2 or 3 role types you are genuinely a strong fit for? Real fit, not I could figure it out fit, but one solid tailored version of your resume for each of those clusters. When you apply, you're pulling from the right version and making minor adjustments for the specific job posting. That's the whole move. Fewer applications, smarter applications, dramatically better results. And here's a question to ask yourself before you hit submit on anything. Does my resume reflect at least 78 to 80% of the language and requirements in this job description? If the answer is no, don't send it yet. Spend 20 minutes getting it there. Those 20 minutes are worth more than 10 more unfocused applications sent in the same amount of time. 30 well-targeted applications will outperform 150 generic ones every single time. I've seen it happen over and over again. Quality of targeting beats volume every single time. The goal isn't to apply to more jobs. The goal is to actually get responses. Those are 2 very different strategies. All right, let's bring this home. If you take nothing else from this video, your resume is getting rejected, but the reason is almost never what you think. It's not that you're underqualified. It's not that the market is impossible. It's that somewhere in these 5 areas, the software screening, the duties trap, the real estate problem, the summary that says nothing, the targeting mismatch, your resume is quietly losing the opportunity before you even get a shot. Pick the one that hit hardest for you. Go fix that one thing today, not tomorrow. One real change on your resume this week can completely change the trajectory of your job search. That's not a motivational line. That's just what I've watched happen with people over and over again. And if you want someone to actually look at your resume, someone who has done this for more than 4,000 people and knows exactly what's working right now in this market, that's where I come in at Resume Assassin. Full resume rewrites, LinkedIn optimization, the whole thing. Check out resumeassassin.com today, and the link's also in the description. If this helped you, guys, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content exactly when they need it. And don't forget to subscribe. I release new videos every single Wednesday. Now, go update that resume. You've got this.